Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. And with all the grace of a drowning penguin.
Look up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's Shaft!
Hey guys, welcome to the Meat Grinder. This is our second event. We've got an event planned for you, but before we go into, the nuances of who's doing this and who's playing that, my co-caster tonight, this evening's the only bird of prey I trust for my heels. It's Falcon Paladin.
Hey Shaft, so glad to be here tonight. So excited to be casting Hydra versus Bunny. These are two of my favorite players right now in the ST2 scene, and I'm really excited to get started.
Yeah, man, Hydra versus Bunny. This is a epic match. They actually just played a show match like a few days ago. The hot seat, it was a best of 9, and Hydra took that, what was it, 5-1, I believe? And historically, Hydra's got a huge advantage on Bunny because on top of that, they also played in the Gfinity Masters, and it's a total of 9 wins for Hydra to Bunny's 2. Yet, don't let those numbers fool you because, in fact, both of these players have matched up against Polt at his prime. And we all know, Optimus Prime, the story there. Polt was a god at one point. And these guys played them both at that time. And, of course, Bunny dominated them and Hydra got wrecked. So these guys, very similar skill levels despite the numbers. I don't want anyone to dismiss Bunny. This could go either way.
No, absolutely. And if anything, I expect Hydra to come in, ready to go, Bunny to come in with a chip on his shoulder, ready to show that he is one of the best Terrans in the entire world. And I really expect this game to go at least 6 games, or this match to go at least 6 games. We'll have to wait and see, though.
What's your prediction?
Oh man, putting me on the spot here. Zerg is my favorite race. I do main Zerg, and Hydra has just impressed me so much lately, but Bunny is just so solid in his all-around game, early game harassment, mid-game, late game. I'm going to go ahead and go with my feelings here and say Hydra, and Hydra in 6 games.
Hydra 6 games, so what, 5-1? That would be 4-2,
nope.
Right?
4-2, yeah.
I don't know why. I was still thinking of the best 9. Wow, no, this is a best of 7, guys, for those of you who don't know.
This is a best of 7.
Yeah,
it is.
Typically we do server switch rules, which would be to say that the players would be switching North America to Europe, but in fact Hydra, very generous, being the gentleman here, he has said he's fine playing all games on Europe, so we're not using server switch. Default map is going to be Coda, and then of course loser picks from there. My feelings, I'm actually going to go 4-3 Bunny.
Okay, so we're opposite on our predictions here, and we'll see who's right at the end.
Yeah, dude, we will see. Now, I do want to give a quick shout-out and thanks to our 3 sponsors this evening. Big shout-out, of course, to to ReplayStats.com, of course, to WhatTheFast.com, and to the good folks at Speedy Walk. But, of course, we're getting into game number 1 now, so let's get it started. Would you like to do the first intro?
I would love to do the first intro. In the bottom right of Coda, the latter edition, we have the Blue Zerg, one of the best Zerg players on the planet at this time. It is Hydra.
And in the top left-hand side of that map, we have, representing Team Liquid, it's Bunny. Alright, and guys, I do apologize. It looks like our typical overlay has been messed up a little bit because of the Europe switch. We will get that fixed up on a break between the matches, but for now, just deal with us, please. We apologize.
We do, and I do also want to apologize for not letting everybody know that Hydra is from the esteemed clan Root. It was my fault, and Root is a very, very, very well-respected clan, and Hydra is a big part of that reason why.
Actually, I have to go out and say this, man. No bias here or anything, but Root is actually my favorite team, foreigner or otherwise.
Oh, I don't know if I have a favorite team. I need to work on that.
Yeah, well, I've just had a lot of good experiences with Cats and QXE and just the whole group of them. They're great guys.
No,
but
absolutely,
anyways,
for sure.
We've got a Reaper expand coming here versus Hatch first. You could not ask for a more typical opening here for Zerg vs Terran. Being Coda, this is a very typical map. Like, this is not a map with anything out of the ordinary about it. It's very square. You have both wide paths, but you also have the narrow corridor where the Zelnaga Cavern is. So you can both choose to be sneaky and harass-oriented, or you can go for that big mid-game push. And of course, this in the late game splits right along that diagonal with each player on the high ground fighting for control of the low ground of that Zelnaga Tower. It's a beautiful map for this matchup.
It absolutely is. And I mean, there's obviously the very easy to take natural, just a natural place to take your natural, jokes. But also the third base is pretty interesting depending on which one you want to take. I feel like Zerg wants to take the one in the very bottom of the map. Hydra wants to take it in the bottom just because it's a little bit farther away from the Terran. And,
you just said Hydra wants to take it in the bottom.
Oh! We're going to ignore that. That didn't happen. But anyway, the Reaper is coming out. And we're going to have to see how well defended this can be from Hydra, making a few lings. These are slow lings. They will never be able to kill this Reaper.
Yeah,
but they're just there to pretty much... Yeah, unless the Reaper is not microed well, gets surrounded and killed. But that's not going to happen from Bunny. The Zerglings are pretty much here just to be sacrificial and just to make sure that the Reaper doesn't get too many drone kills, if any at all, before that Queen pops out.
Well, I really like what Hydra is choosing to do here. He's only going to come off the creep a little bit and only chooses to engage the Reaper on creep. Notice he's keeping right on that line, and he's going to back up. As long as the Reaper is on creep, the lings have an advantage. They don't need speed. The moment it comes off creep, the lings are vulnerable.
And it looks like back at home we are making a factory for Bunny. So we're following up this early barracks play with a couple Reapers and then directly into the factory. I have to imagine this is going to be hellions. It's just so important. They actually work really hard to harass the Zerg player, or otherwise you are going to be overwhelmed in the mid game. This harassment is super important for Bunny to pull this off so that he can actually be more viable towards the mid and late game.
Yeah, I really liked how Bunny was able to save that one Reaper. It had 1 HP left on it. The Queen could have one-shot it, barely got out of range. It was perfect. Now, of course, ling speed about halfway done. When do you think this is going to transition? Because this is really turning into a very cheese-oriented play by Bunny.
Yeah, he's really putting a lot into these Reapers and actually killing quite a few drones. One Reaper does get picked off, though. The Ling's doing a good job, good micro there by Hydra to kill that one. The Reapers are forced to retreat. One of the Reapers is down to very low hit points, but does manage to escape. And in total, there were 4 drones lost so far to that harassment. It's a pretty good number, but I'm not quite sure if it's worth the investment for the number of Reapers that were made.
Well, think about it like this. There have been 4 drones lost, yes, but he's had to make 6 Zerglings, so that's a total of 7 right there, and I'm not even sure how many lings have been killed. So in the end, you know, those are units that could have been drones. So I think that this harassment has definitely done its toll, and he's going to follow this up even with the Reaper Hellion harass, and this is going to punish or possibly even deny the 3rd base of Hydra. And of course, the Ling's trying to get in here and do the exact same thing, but not really working.
No, absolutely not. They get burned down immediately, but they did delay that push by Bunny by just a little bit, and in this game of StarCraft, just a couple of minutes can be enough to secure you the victory. So here come the Hellions and the Reapers a little bit later than they want to be, but they do have 4 Hellions, 2 Reapers, heading directly for that 3rd base, it looks like. Based on what you said, there are 3 Queens out, though, defending pretty good creep spread, and the Hellions bypass the natural and go right on into the 3rd to see what they can do.
Yeah, well, he does see that he can't get into the 3rd. It's pretty much past that point. But he's got the Reapers in the main now, and this could be hugely devastating. He has killed a couple of the drones there, and going to push back. Yeah, just push back the one Reaper, and I believe the other one died. No, yeah, still alive.
Okay, the Hellions do a run by right past these Zerglings on into the natural. Speedlings come and try to get us around, but I just don't think there are enough of them. They get burned down immediately by these Hellions. The drones are forced to pull off the mineral line. The Queens are trying to chase, but they're just a little bit too slow. The Hellions doing their best to catch all of these drones. A couple good shots could kill so many of these workers, and they do. Up to 13 units lost. The Hellions consider it a job well done, and they're going to back off for now.
Yes, sir. So we've got Stimpak completing now. Bunny has been on top of this aggression like all game, and this Stimpak is very aggressive because take a look. He still does not have 1-1 upgrades beginning. He is trying to get some kind of timing. He knows that Hydra in a late game scenario, because of his Brood War history, he's probably going to be able to take the macro game. So he's trying to get these small edges, and I like it. He's really forced a lot of units out of Hydra.
He has, and also managed to kill quite a few drones from Hydra at the same time. The Great Wall of Supply Depots is up at the natural. Zerglings are never going to break that down, but there's a Baneling nest in production. You might see a bit of a 3-base Baneling bust coming on in from Hydra that might actually catch Bunny unprepared. He's making Marines, which aren't fantastic against this particular thing. I don't see any tanks on the field right now. Anyway, the Zerglings are pushing the Hellions back, but we might be prepared for some kind of a Ling Baneling attack just in the near future here.
Yeah, Ling Baneling or a Ling Ultra into a fast Ultra rather, because again, there's no Spire, guys. It's 10 minutes in the game. Spire's not even thought about it. Ling Bling, here you go. You called it, Paladin.
26 Banelings in production. That is a huge number. The first time I saw this was, I think, from Life. He did a 3-base Ling Baneling all-in against, who was it, Flash a couple of years ago in one of their matches, and it was just so devastating in that entire match. Here come the Banelings. They're splitting up between the third and the natural. Nope, all heading into the natural. This wall is not going to survive for long. Here come the Lings streaming right on in. The Banelings going to go try to kill every single one of these SCVs, heading on up into the natural, being chased away by the Marines, though the Banelings can't decide quite what to do, but so many SCVs are dying in that mineral line. The Banelings finally decide to head on up and kill this barracks. A few are left to try to take the rest of these Marines down, but a good pickup by Bunny does save a bunch of the Marines. 3 Banelings heading on in, trying to get a good hit on these SCVs in the main, but no, all the Banelings are gone. All that's left is to clean up the remainder of these Zerglings, and I think these Marines should be able to handle it. But at this point, it is 56 to 43 Harvesters in favor of Hydra, and more Lings are heading on into the third to cause some mischief.
It all comes down to this 3rd-base attack. You know, if Hydra can do significant damage to Bunny here, this might stabilize for him. But right now, it's looking pretty rough because, let's face it, each orbital command is basically worth 4 SCVs because of the mule that it produces every cycle. Therefore, drone counts even. Where's Hydra going to go from here? What does he transition to? He's got the Hive on the way. Will it be the Ultras?
Ultras would be good. He's also making 30 Zerglings, and you don't make that many without planning on using them for something. Looks like a small drop here in the main. Might actually get cleaned up, but no, the Marines are here. They did not get taken care of by those Zerglings. They snipe right on in. They take down the Spire. There's not even a cancel there. The Lings try to get another surround. I think there are enough Zerglings here to clean this up. Yes, they are forced to pick up and boost out of there, but killing that Spire was a nice... Oh, it is being remade, though.
That was actually a Spine Crawler.
A Spine Crawler. Oop, should have clicked on that.
They look the same, yeah.
They do. But, either way, the Spire is on its way.
Yeah, he's working on it. He didn't lose the gas from it, though. Luckily for him. Now, I like Bunny's choice. He's consolidating his losses and clearing up this creep now. The creep spread, definitely the one thing that can protect Hydra from these drops. And again, another drop being launched right in here. Will Hydra notice it? That really becomes the question. He is immediately on top of that. Great defense here, but he's not targeting the medevacs yet.
No, he's not, and that might be a good thing to do just because without medevacs, drops don't happen, and it's easier for Zerg to manage. But right now, just keeping a few Lings and Banelings at home to defend against these drops. I'd like to see some multi-pronged drops from Bunny, and it looks like we might see them. Another drop heading along the left side while a single medevac comes on in into the main to try to see what it can do. The timing is a little bit off, though. I'd like to see those come down at about the same time, but either way, multi-pronged harass is what you really need to get good at as a Terran player if you're interested in taking down a Zerg and not letting them get complacent.
Yeah, it's really hard as a Zerg to target the medevacs if you only have 1 queen at each base, and the only reason a Zerg will do that is if he doesn't have creep spread connecting his bases and or if you're doing multi-pronged drops. Otherwise, he can consolidate the forces of queens, target down the medevacs, and really prevent your drops. This goes doubly for certain right now for Hydra because he did delay that Spire for so long. He has no ability to control the medevac numbers. Marines, they can be reproduced. You can waste Lings and Blings on them all day and they'll still keep coming back. It's all about the medevac.
And it's all about the Mutalisks if you're trying to take down those medevacs. Right now, there are 4 mutas on the field right now, 2 more in production, up to 6. There it is, trying to snipe down that medevac. It does boost away, but it has to leave the Marines behind, and that's what Mutalisks do for you as a Zerg player, is force the medevacs to run or stand and fight and get killed, and that greatly reduces the effectiveness of this bio ball for the Terran army. So the Mutaling Bling is out in full force now with the Overseers, expecting to see some Widow Mines. Are there actually any... No Widow Mines on the field for Bunny, choosing instead to go for the Thors, it looks like.
That's a really interesting choice.
Oh, but there is a Widow Mine.
Oh, Yeah, there's a couple of Widowmines. He's up to 5th and 6th one popping out now, but there's not. It's 16 minutes in the game. There should be a lot more. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really interesting choice, and honestly, I think he could be punished for it. The reason it's so delayed, of course, is because he was doing the early drops. But this is, oh man, it's all going to come down to these splits. Oh, the Baneling's rolling through. Great kiting here, but the medevac's getting picked off here by the Mulus. He's got to be really careful. And the Baneling's getting really, really close. He's running, stemming the entire army. It's really close. But it looks like the stem's wearing off. He's going to be forced to kill off this entire group of Marines or die to the Banelings. But reinforcements are coming in. Some Widowmines were grouped up there. It all came down to the Widowmines like you were discussing. Meanwhile, there was a drop here in the 3rd, and he has wasted all of those lings coming in. And, oh, Banelings. Going to clean that up.
Yep, Baneling hit did clean that up. All those Marines have died, but again, it pulled the army back. And as the Terran player, if you want to keep the army away from you, do those little drops, force everybody to go back and respond to it. It is 77 to 66 harvesters. Zerg player is up, but not by a whole lot, and about 164 to 168 supply at this moment. So fairly even game. We're going to move on into the late game here. It looks like it's going to be Thors. We're getting those factory upgrades for those vehicles. As well, and it looks like it's just going to be continued Mutalisks, continued Lings, and more drones for the macro aspect of Hydra's army.
Yeah, this is all going to come down to some really scrappy play here. It's going to come down to multiple engagements on multiple fronts. This is the quintessential Zerg versus Terran. Bunny, he's going to try and push out onto this, but this army might be a little bit too small.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'd like to see a few more Marines for sure, just for that anti-air. Mutalisks do well against small clumps of Marines. It's when you get the big ones that problems really come. Good splits, though, from the Marines. Yeah, for sure. Widowmine hits coming off, a bunch of Banelings dying. There are still enough Marines left to deal with the Mutas. A drop here at the 3rd base. Again, this is enough to actually snipe off that Queen. She does run away to the safety of the Spine Crawlers. Lings and Banelings forced back again. An attack on the 4th while everybody's distracted here. At the 3rd, is there enough DPS to burn this down? No, there's not. Bunny decides instead to go for the workers. The Marines all get cleaned up and surrounded and killed. The Thor is picked.
Do we still have you there? I think we've lost him. His internet connection seems like it's having some issues. Either way, good pickup on the Thor. The Marines are going to come here and try to defend this area, but there's a huge clump of Zerg stuff just massing here at the Zelnaga Tower. And he is going to be swinging in here. The Widowmines doing a pretty good job, actually going to zone away the Zerg. He's going to be forced to go here on the right-hand flank, splitting off a few units just for a quick run-by, and he's going to be regrouping his units at his own 4th base. I'm really wondering what happened to Paladin.
I'm back. Sorry about that. Just a quick internet hiccup. I am back with you. I apologize for that. But meanwhile, Mutalisk attack here at the 3rd base, forcing the SCVs to retreat. Mutas flying on into the natural to see what they can do. There are no missile turrets here. Banelings rolling in to try to deal with this Marine Thor Widowmine composition. They do clean up the Widowmines. There are enough Marines here to take care of the Mutas here to take care of those Marines, killing so many SCVs here in the natural and then just flying away. This is the annoyance of Terran players for Mutas, is that they can just do what they want, fly away. It's hard to catch them. A single missile turret is here with good response time. Bunny can deal with this, and yeah, the Mutas say, well, it's not really worth it to go there, but right now it is 44 Harvesters have died for the Terran player to 16 for Hydra, and I think that's going to be a big thing that we're going to see have a big result in the outcome of the game.
Yeah, there's still a 19 worker difference, so even though he's killed a lot of the SCVs, the SCV number was ridiculously high for the Terran player at this point. It's all really going to come down to the stabilization. Can the 4th base of the Terran or the 5th and 4th base of the Zerg stabilize? We don't know, because here's a big battle. Lings
absolutely.
Rolling in. And it looks like the splits here are a little bit rough for Bunny. Ling's getting a great surround here, and those that actually not getting the splits there for Bunny going to really reduce the numbers of the Marines here, and looks like the Zerg may be pushed back, but that was a huge number of the Terran stuff that just died. He is actually now 28 supply behind.
It really was, and this is what you want to do as a Zerg player. You don't want to necessarily push in and try to destroy the Terran all at once. You win these engagements, you win a bunch of them, and then eventually you just kind of starve the Terran player out. Lings just doing so much damage to these split Marines, to these Thors being forced to be picked off. A Thor falls. Again, Marines dying all over the place, changelings everywhere. A second Thor dies. The Lings coming in for the kill, trying to catch these reinforcements. And they do a good job of it, catching these rallying Marines. Banelings rolling into, not quite needed at this point. Now heading back on into the 4th to see what they can do. Good stim micro, kiting back from Bunny, but they're being chased by so many Banelings. So many workers are dying. The planetary fortress killing what it can. I think this will be cleaned up by Bunny, but at what cost?
Yeah, that's a huge cost, and now the Lings actually choosing to target the weakened SCVs as they're forced to repair. Of course, the SCVs falling pretty quickly to that, and we are actually down still to 53 SCVs. He has not missed a production cycle on those SCVs yet.
No, he's just been on top of things for sure, which is what you need to do against a Zerg player to keep up with what they're doing in the macro game. It looks like there's really no intent to go for ultras or anything like that from Hydra. He's just making these lings, making these mutas, making everything that he needs to do work. These lings do have +2/+2 upgrades, making them that much more effective. And just a small group of mutalisks. You don't need a big one, just enough to deal with the medevacs and let the units on the ground do what they can to clean up that Terran bio ball.
Yeah, those 2-2 upgrades are actually going to be pretty significant. The 3-3 is finishing up now, and the 3-3 finishing for the Terran versus the 2-2 of the Zerg, that's a huge advantage to the Terran. So probably over the next 20 seconds, Hydra might want to try to push this advantage, but after that, he has got to get those 3-3 upgrades.
Absolutely. As a Zerg player, I am so afraid of Marines with 3-3. It seems like they are gods of destruction. They can do so much damage. It takes so much to kill them, especially with that stim. So once that 3-3 is done, and it looks like it is now, for Bunny, he should push out and see what he can do.
And there's the push. He's going to be slow about it. He wants to make sure he doesn't venture on a creep without killing off at least most of the tumors. Because that Banelings, those hurt last time. He doesn't want to do that again.
No, for sure. The muta's kind of poking in, see what they could do, but a good job getting the Marines out in front, the medevacs in the back, protecting them. Huge Baneling group rolling on in, going to try to take out this entire mineral line. So many SCVs die, and the planetary fortress explodes. Satellite dish following another battle in the middle of the map here. Marines pulling back, being healed up by the medevacs, but it looks like Bunny is now down to 3 bases, while Hydra is effectively on 3 mining bases to the 1 of Bunny, and this does not look good for Bunny here.
He lost 34 SCVs to those Banelings. Huge!
Just a huge attack. Bunny saying, all right, I got to win this here. He moves in, he splits his Marines, he tries to snipe down this base. This hatchery might actually fall, but no, coming in from the top, Banelings are rolling in. The splits again are good though. Amazing concave from these 3-3 Marines and pushing on in. They're actually going to get this hatchery. The mutas do not dare to engage this, and they're going to try anyway. Banelings coming in, reinforcing. Are there enough Marines to deal with this number of mutas? They are coming from across the map to try to help, and it looks like there are. All the mutas die but one, and Bunny might actually be able to swing this back closer into his favor. And yes, Hydra with the GG.
Let's talk about that. What just happened there, okay? So there's a downside to sacrificing that many Banelings. He had 32, 31, 32 SCV kills, right?
He did.
He lost 24. He had 3 lines of 8 each. I clicked on it. Banelings. He sacrificed 24 Banelings for 32 SCVs. Those are Banelings he didn't have in that engagement. How would that last engagement have looked with 32 more Banelings?
It would have been much... Yeah, for sure. Much easier to clean up for a Zerg player with those Banelings. And again, it's kind of like I said, going in for the kill against a Terran is nice, but you have to make sure you're actually killing the Terran. Otherwise, you're throwing units away that you could use in an engagement in the middle of the map, and that's exactly what happened.
Oh, beautiful game. So close. Like, back and forth, dude. I really thought Hydra had it there in the end, especially once he got away with that. But Bunny, he tasted the blood in the water, and he was just like, no, I am tired of losing to you, Hydra. Die!
Absolutely right. And again, those 3-3 bio units are just so scary, especially against the 2-2 of the Zerg player. They got in, there wasn't a huge group of them left, but it was enough that Hydra said, okay, I can't stream units at this. I need a huge bunch that I just don't have, and he GG'd out. Just amazing.
It was a fantastic game. But, guys, we've got a few technical difficulties, namely Falcon's lag, our observer interface, and Hydra is also complaining of some lag issues. So we're going to address those. We're going to come back. It is currently 8:29 my time. We'll come back at 8:34 in 5 minutes after we do the trivia giveaways. Because guess what? We've got accounts to give away. Not only to just any website, but Falcon. I hear you've been working on your game recently. Could you tell us a little bit about this website?
Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing quite a bit of laddering out on, again, the ladder on the NA server. I'm not quite good enough for the other servers, but what's really helped me is the website sc2replaystats.com. And what that's really all about is a place where you can upload your replays, and there's a very sophisticated computer program algorithm that analyzes them for you, shows you what your composition was versus what your enemy's composition was, shows you how long you've been supply blocked on average, what ways you can improve in your game, what parts of the game you can get better at, and it's just like getting coaching from a website without paying what it costs to actually get a real life coach in a lot of these situations.
Yeah, you know my favorite thing about the website though? It's the fact that it has so many replays on it that they can compare what, you know, a typical Zerg third looks like in a Zerg versus Terran. And they'll compare your third to your opponents. Now, if you find yourself in replays consistently getting a later third, that might be something to look at. Now, in one particular game, maybe your opponent cheesed you, so of course your third was a little bit later, blah, 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 blah. But if it's consistently occurring, this website can really help you analyze some stuff. So we're going to go ahead and give away a free account to them. It's a month-long account, so here's Grimly, and he'll explain to you how it works.
Hi, my name's Grimly, and welcome to our trivia giveaway. Tonight's giveaway is sponsored by sc2replaystats.com. It's a really cool website that helps nooblars like me get better. Here's how it works. I'm about to post this trivia question in chat, and the first person with the right answer wins a free sc2replaystats.com premium account good for 1 month. So, and here's the question. In the last game, what building did Falcon Paladin confuse the death of a spine crawler with?
Fair question. I like it. Pretty straightforward. I hope everybody missed that just for my sake.
Excellent. And I'm getting the promo codes together for that, so give me 1 sec. I'm kind of MIA.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to a commercial. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Please stick with us.
If the only tool you have is a hammer, then every problem looks like a nail. It's time to start using the right tool for the job. Introducing sc2replaystats.com. They have the best replay parser out there with thousands of uploads whose build orders and timings are stored to help you find out how you stack up against others in your division. Or if you're a data nerd like me, analyze your favorite pros games so you can be awesome too. After all, how do you think Crash Course got started? My favorite feature is hands down the Training Center. It's got all the most important statistics like when to get your third, how many drones to make, and even how badly you're missing injects. They explain key focus points individualized to your matches and playstyle that will help you get to that next level. For only $5 a month, SC2 Replay Stats is more than worth it. Go thank them for supporting esports by getting better today.